Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I'm your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and international best-selling author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 90 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing, highlighting that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also join our Facebook group at Life Transformation Radio Community and never miss an episode by subscribing where you listen to podcasts. Life Transformation Radio can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Overcast, CastBox, Google Podcasts, Pandora, and you can listen to us right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network by going to blogtalkradio.com/Life Transformation Radio. You can tune in Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also join our YouTube channel at Life Transformation Radio. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, amazing people having an impact in the world around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, go ahead and give us a call at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my friend and my guest today, Rick Ely. Rick, my friend, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much, man. What an honor, what a privilege to just be able to spend time with you, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
I'm pumped to have you on the show, man. We met just like everybody else. You meet on social media and you kind of hit it off. And, man, I've loved just being a part of what you got going on and just being a sounding board for you and, coming up with some crazy things that I think would be cool if you guys, knock that out of the park.
Sounding board. Man, oh, no, wait a minute. You're a fire hose. A sounding board. Oh, my gosh. You, overflow gush, dude. It's like a volcano of just magic. I mean, I can't even possibly tap everything that you put out. It's so good. I mean, that's not hype. Literally, we couldn't catch everything that you're throwing down. We couldn't keep up with all of the juice, man. I mean, you are like the ultimate go-giver, nonstop, and I'm grateful and thankful that we're in such alignment.
Yeah, man.
Bro, I couldn't. When you asked me for that bio, I couldn't even keep up with it. I looked at, I looked back, and it wasn't even relevant. It wasn't even relevant, and I started trying to type something up quick, just to get it to you, and I thought to myself, hell, I'm going to write a novel here. So where do you begin? And that's what you've been so good at. You've exercised this continuously, practicing, making changes, modifying, and you don't quit. It's action. This just massive action. And I love that about you, Sean.
Massive action yields massive results, my friend.
Oh, what can I tell you, sir? What can I tell you? Like I said, I'm grateful to be in your presence.
Absolutely. So the title of this episode is The Quest for Pono with entrepreneur Rick Ely. Rick is the co-founder of Pono Quest, co-founder of Solar Coach member expert partners Inner Circle, real estate developer. As a holistic entrepreneur, Rick aims to come from the deepest place in his heart with an unquenchable passion for showing up as the highest ideal of himself in observation of the highest ideal of humanity. He is a husband, father, friend, storyteller, philosopher, fisherman, and is prepared to meet the highest ideal in you. What's your story? Find out more at Pono Quest on Facebook, his Facebook group. Find him on YouTube, and go ahead and check out his Instagram. All the show notes, the links are in the show notes right there. Check him out. See what he's doing. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Rick, the first question that I have to ask, and I believe is the most important question we could ever be asked, why? Why do you do what you do?
Oh, man. I couldn't not, I guess. It's that place of, like, I couldn't not do what I'm doing right now. Like, I fought every other aspect of me to get to where I am right now, and to come from the deepest place in my heart and pour that out every day. Man, that's living. That's living. So the true why is, like, I point to the values. I come from the deepest place in my heart, right? That passion drives me to be my most authentic self, to live out my truth. That's what guides me. Those are some of the bumper rails, you know. These are the pieces that integrity. How did I get there? Oh, I lost myself to find myself. So the question is it that constant action, like, to be me in this very moment? The awareness of who I am today is an awareness that I didn't have yesterday. And I've failed forward so much in my life. Like, but and yet I feel like I'm living heaven on earth today. And then there's so many moments along the way where I felt like that was heaven on earth too. And it's that journey along the way, but sometimes we get stuck too, right? I mean, sometimes we miss the mark. At least I did. I missed the mark.
Oh, yeah.
I saw where I missed the mark. And then one day I was like, man, okay, I got to own 100% of this. So, man, dark nights of the soul, however you get to wherever you are. For me, it was, I haven't had a drink now in about 5 years, just a little over 5 years. So it's been having a clear mind is a wonderful thing. It took me a while to get there, but
yeah,
I think I had all of my identity tied up in things and beings. I kind of lost sight of where my family was. I owned a commercial real estate brokerage and a development company, and we were very successful. We had about 23 companies at one time. My wife managed them, and we had the 10th floor of the Bank of America building looking out on the river. And I bought a mountain. I bought 400 acres, developing 285. Bought a freaking mountain. Who buys a mountain, dude? Who buys a mountain? That's just crazy, right? Who buys a mountain?
You set the bar. You set the bar. Like, forget you, Grant Cardone, and your high-flying jet, whatever, influencer, your Ferrari. I bought a mountain.
I did, man. My wife called it my mistress. No. I mean, she did. She called it the mistress, and it was 2 hours away from my home, 2 hours away from my office. You know.
Oh my gosh!
And we moved. We moved there.
Awesome.
We eventually moved there when the market crashed. We moved. I mean, we moved our kids down and everything, and we spent 7 years down in Sweet Home, Oregon, and had this mountain in Lebanon, Oregon, called Ridgeway Butte. And my son shot his first deer there. We fished, we hiked, we hunted, we carved it out, and that was the most beautiful playground. Most beautiful piece of recreational real estate I'll ever own. Most expensive piece. But it was,
Yeah.
it cost me everything, Sean. It cost me everything because I wasn't in alignment with a lot of things. There were several pieces along the way that I didn't really, but that's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't blame the market. I mean, I held on to that thing when all my friends were filing bankruptcy, and I was like, no, hang on, you can get through this, and I, you know what? I just didn't have the courage to face the current reality at that point. that
Right.
was one of the pieces I missed. I couldn't face the current reality when everybody was saying, no, don't go. I didn't know how to quit.
Wow.
I didn't know how to quit, but what I probably would have pulled it all off, and I'd not lost my ass had I not been drinking. If I was paying attention, I probably could have pulled it all off.
Heard that.
In fact, but you know what? It just made me come to reality. I'm married today, 21 years, 3 adopted children. I'm blessed beyond my wildest dreams. Like you were saying, what's Pono? We were talking about the deck. It's like I got a full deck of cards, and they're all straight, they're all lined up, and it's all clean and ready to play. And that's Pono. And so I'm grateful to be here. What do you want to know, Sean? Because I could talk I just pour from my heart. It won't stop.
No, the one thing about you, man, that I really want people to know is every conversation that I have with you, man, it's real. It's authentic. We're in the moment. And I just appreciate that so much. I feel like there's no judgment. You understand. You come from a human level, an empathetic level, and you rely on those moments that we've all been through as sort of your North Star, as sort of your, I know what that is, but I'm trying to achieve something higher. I've been there. I got the T-shirt. Don't want to go back. I'm trying to create something, and I'm taking those moments with me. A lot of people are like, oh, drop your baggage, man. Drop your baggage and go free. Yes, the hurt and pain and hardship and things like that, but the moments, collect those moments and take them with you every step of the way. And that's what I love about you, man.
Yeah. Well, it's the moments are what we anchor to space and place, right? We carve out time in that linear space. I don't know. I think of the moments when I looked at my son. Somebody asked me, my wife, I was probably half drunk on the bus going to Disneyland with my wife and kids. And this is the truth. I mean, forgive me, but the bus driver saying, how did you know when your son became a man? And where that question came from was, I had no idea, but I looked her straight in the eyes. And I said, I knew just by looking in his eyes. I could see in his eyes, but it was the moment that we were deer hunting. He'd been charging up a hill. I went one way to the left, and I got blocked in. And he's coming up behind me, and I looked back, and I said, son, I'm blocked in this way. I said, you go ahead and take the lead. And he just come up, pushed out, and he's standing at the top of the truck, at the top of the hill, and he's looking down at me. And I couldn't ask for more. I couldn't have asked for more. Now he's a Marine.
Love it.
he's dude, he's the tip of the spear, man.
You're right. For
God,
sure.
That kid is courageous. He's got the most beautiful heart and soul, and the best thing I ever did. That's the best thing I ever did.
It's awesome.
So
now he's charging up different hills.
No, he does. He's got his own, but he knows where home is, and he loves his mama. He calls his mama. All my kids are adopted, but man, I figured out how to make home. I paid attention because of what's most important.
Yeah.
I'll never get this back. So, man, I'm going to lean into every moment that I get to spend with each one. And I want them to know that there's nothing that they can't accomplish if they put their heart and soul into it, if they follow from the depth of their soul. And man, my dad went bankrupt. My dad lost a lot of light in his eyes, but he didn't lose his soul.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Holy crap, man.
Right. So we all go through these moments, and we remember, like you were talking about your dad, and we remember these other moments, that people have shared. So the whole point of the show is about transformation and the transformational moments that we go through, and recognizing when we're going through one, when we're in one, and how we came out the other side. So for you, what is a transformational moment that happened to you, changed you, and put you on the path to what you're doing today?
Wow, that's like, it's every step of the way, because you're never not who you are, right? At every moment. But there are the moments that, you change your trajectory. And then there are the moments that you have this infilling of something that is so much greater than you that you can't, and you were just there and it went through you. Mm-hmm. And I want to say that was a feeling and a realization that I had at one point, where I was probably close to my lowest point, just approaching, just coming. Where the heck was I? It was about 4 years ago. Really, about 3.5, 4 years ago. I was sitting out in the front of my front yard in my boat, and it wasn't in the water, but I was sitting on the back deck of my boat thinking and feeling, and all of a sudden there was this realization, this knowing, this understanding. It was like something just shot through me, that it was all inside of me. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't anything I was doing or saying or being in the moment. It was just like I was at this place where I was just able to receive. And it was this knowing that it was, Jesus and the devil. Actually, it was Hitler in that moment. It was Hitler. That it was all within me, like all of the light and all of the dark. And and I thought, wow, okay, I'm trying to run from this dark side of me, but it is me. You see, it's all part of me. It's just, which one am I feeding? And I think as I began to unwind my world, like I literally rested and just unwound. I've felt fully supported, and not really, but I did. I took a rest in my mind, in my heart, in my space, and I just knew that I was a powerful creator, that I created this, that life wasn't happening to me, that it was happening for me, and that the entire universe was conspiring to bless me and those I dearly loved. All I had to do was get out of the way. All I had to do was get out of the way. Slow down a little bit. About 75%, really, is what I had to do, is slow down about 75%. To really, because I take passionate action, right? I mean, if you're driven, you take passionate action, but you got to you got to have some good people around you in your corner, in your inner circle, that you can trust, because you're not an island. You're not an island. And I was just operating as an island, man. I was operating in my own private little universe without any bumper rails, and I couldn't see everything. So, now today I surround myself with incredible people. I mean, I'm never the smartest guy in the room. That's okay. But I really do. Each day is filled with meeting powerful creators, powerful, passionate people who have stories, have classes, have courses, have teachings that do just what you're talking about, change people's lives and from the inside out. And I get to facilitate that on a daily basis. I get to have these conversations with conscious creators every day. And so it's high level conversations about being what it is we want to experience and how they're helping and changing others. And then seeing it go into effect, like amplifying what you're doing just blows me away. Like to think that I could have an impact to share Sean, to get his message out. That's what drives me. Right? Because I know that my message isn't necessarily going to connect with everybody. Dude, I could talk about stuff that, lots of people are going to turn off the channel. They're just not going to pay attention. But they're going to pay attention to you, Sean. They're going to pay attention to your track record. They're going to pay attention to each step along the way because you're consistent. Now, I'm doing my best to be consistent, but I know I was really consistent for a long time doing other things. So I know how to get it done. I've just surrounded myself with some people now today and gotten really, really clear about what it is I want to experience and made my family the center of it. So,
right on.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Sean.
Let's talk about Pono and the quest for Pono. Tell the listeners what Pono is to you.
Well, we were talking about this, right? I mean, for as many, for as many people there are, there should be religions, and for as many people there are, a definition of happiness, or the definition of Pono, the definition of heaven on earth. What does it feel like to you when everything in the world is just right? when you know you can't get it wrong. And it just unfolds for you one step after the other with a smile. When you meet challenges, they're not challenges. They're opportunities. So Pono for me is a heaven on earth. It's a state of being, it's a state of mastery for me. Not everybody can be at peace wherever they are in the world with everything's going on. I mean, a lot of people are not at peace. But I can be that. And if I can be that and I can share that, I can offer somebody else the opportunity to be that too. But being Pono is a whole nother level than just being okay.
Yeah.
What's Pono to you, Sean?
Yeah, so for me, man, Pono is the marrying of positivity and your spirituality. If you were to look up Pono in the dictionary, it would say, and Hawaii has in their slogan or whatever for their state, they have Pono in it, and it just means like righteousness, right? Like righteousness. But then you look up the definition of righteousness, and it might mean something a little bit different. We might get, some meanings crossed. But the way that I explain it, and the way that, when you reach a state of Pono, when you reach a state of balance, when you reach a state of alignment, when you reach a state of spirituality, which has nothing to do with religion, has everything to do with your beliefs, principles, and values. When you come into balance, when you come into alignment, when you come into peace, you're in a state of Pono.
Yeah. I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think we have to recognize that all wisdom, right? All wisdom doesn't reside in one school.
Right.
But it's in the collective, right? In a collective, people are either beautiful examples, right, or great warnings of what we want to experience. And that's not judgment. People are not necessarily their behaviors, right? You can modify behavior, but that's all NLP talk. And I don't want to get too much in the head. I try to stay focused in the heart space, but definitely taking corrective action where where we need to take corrective action. I'm looking to you. You know, you've got so much experience in things that I don't. I have to be smart enough to know that I'm not the smartest guy in the room, to be able to seek out others that are smarter than me in areas that, I don't have an expertise. I've carved it out before. I know the blood, sweat, and tears of what it takes to try to eke it out on your own. And that's not the world we live in. We don't live in a world of competition anymore. That is an old paradigm. We live in a world of synergy, a world of collaboration. And when we realize that the world, the entire universe is conspiring to bless us and those we dearly love, it's for us. It's for us, and people like you show up in my life. So I'm grateful, man. The first time I met you, it actually kind of shocked me because I was so self-conscious. Here I was, I entered the room. Bro, I got a lot to learn. We all do. But we're not alone on the journey. And so the journey of Pono Quest it's a guided journey to personal mastery. It takes you to the inside of who you are and who you really want to be. It's a discovery. It's a personal discovery. Everybody's on their journey, and we're not all on the same paths, but we can point to those that have gone before us or have had experiences that that we haven't. And for me, the Pono Quest journey is playing with my friends. Like, I get to surround myself with people that I know, love, and trust.
Right.
It's a very safe sandbox to play in. And so the things that I'd like to experience, and this is what I think everyone should do, right? Be what it is you want to experience. You asked me what my definition of Pono is. That is to be that, right? It's to be that. Because that's going to bring you what's the joy.
Right. And you're content with that. And being Pono is the acceptance of everything that is happening wrong and right in your life, and being at peace with that, and living a life of integrity and authenticity, and feeling like everything is as it should be. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything is as it should be.
That brings a great point, because there are moments, right? There are moments when we lean into stuff, when we have to lean into things that are a little hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't go to the edge with it a little bit, you don't ever really find out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so that state of Pono, right? Being okay with going to the edge.
Right.
That's Pono.
Right.
So I want to get the most out of this life. I want to get the most out of every breath. And I want everybody that I come in contact with to feel the same. When I first started out, like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know, and we continue to evolve and continue to grow. And I think when you do that, Sean, when you come from the deepest place in your heart, you can't get it wrong. That's really it. That's what I want to teach. I've just point to those that have gone before me. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So you talked about hanging out with some creators. You talked about hanging out with some coaches. and the Pono Quest. How can people get involved with that? How can people learn more about Pono Quest?
Well, they can go to your site and they'll find a link to Pono Quest. They'll find your link to Pono Quest, to the Pono Quest jersey, or they can go to, because they'll be able to find us through you, yes, and can go to the, just PonoQuest.com. It's evolving. Right. It continues to be an evolution.
Sure.
Yeah, the Facebook group. I'm totally accessible. I do
the Facebook
live
group,
videos.
got the Instagram.
Yep. Facebook group,
There's many
Instagram.
ways.
I just got on this Clubhouse app, and that's a whole nother world, man.
Right, that's a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother. But what I do want to do is stay consistent, keep showing up.
Yep.
Keep showing up. Every day, just take another step, keep showing up. But yeah, that's how you can find me. That's how you just PonoQuest.com. Pretty easy, or on Facebook. All those links. Please reach out, man. I'd love to.
Yeah. So we go through these transformational moments, and we take these moments with us everywhere we go, into each relationship, into each job, each business, each conversation. How have you taken your why and your transformational moments and elevated the world around you?
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing in our home and in our businesses, right? So as a holistic entrepreneur, I recognize that how I do one thing's how I do everything. And so we have multiple businesses. We have a solar coaching company, which is basically a national sales organization that's yoked to the superpower. We can teach people financial tools. Real estate's my background. I got a whole nother area of real estate. How do we? Please tell me your question again, because I just got off.
Yeah,
I got to stay present.
So we talked about your why. We talked about transformational moments that we all go through. How have you taken those moments and your why for what you do, and then elevated your world around you?
That's what Pono Quest is. So that's where Pono Quest comes in. It's like it's my inner circle. All I'm doing is pouring in to that aspect of people. Like, I find myself in a place of service every day. It's not about me, and I forget. And I'm almost, to the point where I need a lot of help. I need so much help because we're overwhelmed, because people are coming out of the woodwork saying, please, there's alignment. Let's put your course up. And so now I'm experiencing growth pain. I'm experiencing growth pain because I'm recognizing that what we're doing, we're on the right track. And, where we started in pointing in the journeys and trying to, we have the trunk of the tree where we point to Dusty's staff, because Dusty's been doing it for 40 years. He's the world's foremost expert on heart-centered leadership, and literally teaching CEOs and large corporation, Fortune 50 but that was, that's corporate America. What we're creating is a culture, an environment of empowered people living the experiences that they want to have. Like, we want people in there who teaching the Hawaiian language or the ukulele or whatever passions coming from their heart, right? That's the community that we're trying to cultivate and create, and it's coming on pretty fast. So once we recognize what we're doing right and take corrective action on where we're what we can do better, I think I'm creating a very safe environment for people to feel nurtured, loved, and respected, and get all of the tools that they need that they don't have now but being in a community of people that are supporting you on what it is you want to bring to the world. So that's Pono. I mean, that's Pono.
Yeah. Right on, man. And I'm super happy, for all of your success in what you're creating, and to be a part of what you're creating. I think it's going to rock people's world, man.
You're a huge part, Sean. You're a huge part of what we're doing. Look, I'm paying attention, and I've got a lot of friends, and I see which direction they take action in.
Right.
And we have aligned values. Those are integrity, authenticity. Yep. These are the things that matter. These are the things that matter. You can't, the moment that you edge those things out, then you're not dealing with a full deck. You're not Pono. That's it. I mean, so yeah, it's fun to play with you, Sean. I'm honored.
Yeah, man. Likewise, dude. It's just been so fun, like I said, to be a part of your world, man. To come into what you're doing and the ecosystem, and man, it's just been like super fun, to be a part of that. So, as we start to close the show, what is a message that you want to give to the listeners? The listeners listening, they tell me, like what's the red thread? If I pulled that red thread of the cord, what would unravel? What do I need to know going through these transformational moments and different parts of the journey that they're currently on? What's a message that you could give them?
Sure. Yeah, recognize that you're doing the best you can with what you have in the moment, and that everybody is doing the same. Give yourself a lot of grace along the way. Be easy on yourself. We're our own worst critics. If I allowed other people to talk to me the way I've talked to myself sometimes, it would. They probably wouldn't exist, right? I mean, they certainly wouldn't be in my life. They certainly wouldn't be in my life, but yet I have this one in my head. So be kind to yourself. This self-talk is so important. How you speak to yourself and how you speak to others. I could get really deep and esoteric, and we can stay on the surface, but the truth is, it's really not that hard. But we make it hard, and we make it hard with the way we think, because how we think and how we feel creates our reality. So when you think about your thoughts, and you start looking and being aware of your thoughts, ask yourself, how are my thoughts making me feel? Do I like these thoughts? And if you're aware that maybe in that moment that you're just aware of, oh wow, I really wasn't even aware of how I felt. I'm just thinking and feeling. I wasn't even aware. In that moment of pause, you may change your mind. You may change your mind and find that there's another thought in front of it that's for you. That's for you. And when you feel that thought, lean into that one. Lean into the one that's for you. Lean into the one that feels good, that feels right. You know it because it's inside you. Your body will tell you. You know this. You got this. You are the author of your own story. You, and I stole this from you, Sean, you are the master of your own meaning.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm grateful for you giving me that gold nugget, because I carry that around with me. I pop that in. I made that part of me. And that's what we do. We pick up these pieces along the way, and we make them part of us, of beliefs, because you are your beliefs, right? And you can change them. And you can change them. Hey, sometimes we got to tear down the factory. At least every 4 years. At least every 4 years you got to tear down the factory.
Sure. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Sometimes we gotta rebrand and reassess. And is this serving me? Am I serving my audience? Am I in alignment? Because I love how you said I had to, I lost myself to find myself, which should absolutely be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That should be a T-shirt. I lost myself to find myself, because that could be taken so many different ways. You could do a men's retreat. You could go on a Jeep crawl. You could go hunting in the woods. You could go on a nature walk. You could hit rock bottom in life. You could become homeless. These are all.
Bro, I'll tell you what. I got a friend of mine named Paul Tannehill. This dude is a rock star. He teaches business at a college in the Willamette Valley, but he's a geocacher, right? He's totally passionate about geocaching. Like,
yeah,
he's a professor, and the dude can get back to anywhere, any spot in the world. I want people like that out there. Where do you want to go? Yeah, I can get there.
Yeah.
Thanks for leading the way, Sean. Dude, you're a rock star. I'm so thankful to be on your team, man, to be in your company. Let's roll.
Yeah, man. So I want to thank you for being an amazing guest on the show. Dude, you're doing amazing work in Pono Quest, and the way that you show up, the way that you show out, and just the welcoming that you have with people that you meet. And I know I always feel welcome in our conversations, and you're just a Pono dude, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, I appreciate you as well, Sean, and I'll be talking to you here real soon. Today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If any part of our conversation between Rick and I resonated with you, please reach out to him. Facebook group, YouTube, Instagram. Check out what he's offering. Check out his community. Become part of the quest for Pono. If any part of our conversation touched you, please let me know on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts by subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show. With that, I close the show by saying live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart, and I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live an amazing life.